right, folks, welcome back. Episode 4 of Sideways Rain, and we have a special episode for you this week. We're getting ready for IMEX. We're getting excited about it, and we thought we'd lend some insight since we've been on the floor before for you first-timers out there, as well as you vets, around what to do and see while you're there.
Most definitely. I can't believe it's the end of the year already. We're in October. IMEX is here. And it's a great networking opportunity. It's a great opportunity to learn about what's going on in the industry. But before we get into all of the facts, details, tips, and tricks, here comes the rain. We are back again with another episode of Sideways Rain. Today, as JR mentioned, we're going to get into all things IMEX. But before we get into the details, JR, what is IMEX? Why is it important? Let our listeners know. What is it?
Great question. It's the industry's biggest show. I like to think of it as like too big to fail. Everybody goes. Everybody kind of hems and haws over it in spring and summer, but come October, I hear a lot of voices saying, I'll see you at IMEX. So it is North America's largest meeting industry show. Global suppliers, whether you're a venue, a vendor, a meeting planner, etc., everybody's concentrated onto one floor into education sessions, one very big floor for 3 days. So if you want to rub some shoulders and make some contacts, it's definitely the place to be in October.
Most definitely. So where is IMEX, you may be asking, this year? And as for previous years, it's in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay. Shout out to Mandalay Bay. I love that hotel. Every time I go to Vegas, there's always an event going on there. So IMEX America will be there this year, October 7th through October 9th. And we also have an extra day, which IMEX is calling Smart Monday, where there's a ton of sessions, a ton of education sessions and networking sessions where attendees can learn about new things, learn what's coming to IMEX and things of that nature.
Yeah, we're excited. I think we're flying in Sunday the 5th to take full advantage of Smart Monday. Be there for that. It'll be Kris, Sean, and myself joining, and we'll be there all the way through Friday when we fly out, and hopefully fit some poker in between. So lots of different ways to go to IMEX. You can be a regular attendee just like us. It's free to attend other than the cost of getting yourself there. That allows you to go to the education sessions, do all the networking you want, be on the floor, really do just about anything. The hosted buyers, they pretty much come for free. They're usually hosted by a venue or a partner. But they have commitments, so they have certain places and certain amount of meetings that they have to do while they're there. It's great if you're actively sourcing. You get to meet a lot of different venues, a lot of different vendors, a lot of different partners, and you can actively get that done while you're there. You can be an exhibitor, tons of booths. It's a huge trade show floor. You get your presence, get your brand out there, and you can optimize for quality meetings, and you get some guaranteed meetings with those exhibitor passes as well. And then you can just be a buyer attendee. So you're non-hosted, you get full access to the show. You can still source for your events, but you get to self-book all your meetings. There's no obligation there. So lots of different ways to attend. And again, the financial impact of getting there is really just that flight and hotel and whatever food you need while you're there. And, a lot of people there. So I'd recommend coming out.
For sure. And JR's already given us our first tip of the day. As he mentioned, the entire WIF team will be in attendance at IMEX, and we are flying in October 5th. So that's tip number 1. If you can, fly in early to get yourself focused and ready and prepared, because there's an action-packed week of meetings, networking opportunities, and educational sessions that are very, very valuable, and you're going to need all of your time, energy, and focus to be able to really take in all of that information. So that's tip number 1 for today's episode. Try to get there early, get prepared so that you can make the most of your opportunity. With that being said, one of the questions that we get a lot is, what are some first-time tips for someone who's never been to IMEX or never been to a conference like this before? And we like to say there's 3 goals that you should have in mind. And those 3 goals are your pipeline, your partners, and education. Your pipeline being, what is your target audience or your target market that you're looking to interact with at IMEX? Figure out who those individuals are or who those companies are, and figure out how you're going to incorporate them into your schedule and into your day while you're at IMEX. The second one is going to be your partners. So what are you doing at this event to engage with your partners, show support, et cetera, et cetera? And last, what are you there to learn about? There's tons of sessions, there's tons of networking opportunities. Really focus in on what you would like to learn about, and then skim the schedule, skim the floor plan of IMEX, and figure out what sessions are going on that are interested or that you have interest in, and add those to your schedule so that you can make sure that you don't miss those opportunities.
Yeah, awesome. Let's dive a little bit into the agenda. But I'll also note, just as a tip while you're there, make sure you build buffers in. There's no way you can go from a 10:30 session that ends at 10:30 to another session that starts at 10:30. The floor plan is just too big. So make sure you're building in buffers. Make sure you're building in time to get follow-ups on the schedule, etc. And man, wear comfortable shoes because you're going to be moving.
Yes.
Pack water or a water bottle. You will walk miles. Count your steps. We can compare after IMEX to see who walked the most each day. But let's talk about agenda and start with Smart Monday, Kris. And I got a few things on my schedule. Actually, a lot of things, but I'm going to highlight 2 here. The first one I want to go to on Monday is it's a session called The Art of the Unforgettable Site Visit. And this is a little self-serving because I know we have a solution for this with Wift around how we can use our tool during your site visits. So I want to hear about what these planners are doing. Their time is precious during these site visits. So this is a session on Monday from 9:30 to 10:30 in the morning. At Mandalay Bay. So I'll look to check that out, see who's in there and see what they're up to. And then in the afternoon, there's tons of stuff. Like I said, one thing just to shout out, there's a session on strategy. I want to look at revolutionizing event strategy, which is unlocking real-time insights. That's from 2:30 to 3:30 on Monday afternoon. Looks like a great session to be in and maybe rub some shoulders with event planners.
Awesome. Yeah, my Monday is jam-packed as well, JR. I have a few sessions that I do want to call out here. The number one being a session on Monday that starts at 10:45 a.m. And this session is called LinkedIn Social Selling, Turning Connections into Contracts. And what this session is speaking about is how to get the most value out of your LinkedIn, how to get the most value out of your connections and your network on LinkedIn, and how to set up a profile that will gain the amount of attention and traction that you're looking to gain on this social platform. So super excited to attend this session. It's going to be hosted by Richard Bliss, CEO of Bliss Point. So that is a session that I will be checking out first thing Monday morning at 10:45 a.m. And then another session that I have to call out for those that have never attended IMEX or those that maybe just aren't familiar with the best way to navigate this conference, there is a First Timers Learn How to Navigate IMEX with Confidence session on Monday that starts at 3:45 p.m. And this is going to be all the things that you need to know, tips, tricks, recommendations on how to navigate this conference day in and day out. I highly recommend attending this session if you have the time, as it's just going to equip you to get the most value out of the conference this year.
Yeah, also a great opportunity to maybe make a buddy that is also their first time there, so you can experience it together. All right. Off to Tuesday, we went to bed early. We got a good night's rest because Tuesday is going to be full and we're going to be walking around that convention floor. So a couple things I'm looking forward to for Tuesday is I like to usually leave Tuesday morning open to wander around, but there's a session right after lunch at 1 p.m. with Amy Kramer from Merits around unlocking the full potential of your events through measurement, KPIs, any objective data that we can have around measuring our events is incredibly valuable. So I would love to attend this session with Amy. It's an education session on the floor. So I look forward to that one. And then in the afternoon at 4:00, I always like to stop by Dahlia's booth, the Dahlia Agency IMEX Tech Education booth. They're doing a town hall unplugged. So they'll have a few people on stage, and you never know at that booth. It can get a little wild. So you got to pop in.
Yeah, shout out to the Dahlia Agency. They're always a great time. And every time we walk by their booth, it's like a party. So can't wait to see that group again and just kind of catch up and see all the things that they have to offer. In addition to JR sessions, I have a couple sessions that I want to highlight on this day as well. The number one being Amex GBT is hosting a global meetings and events forecast at 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday. And as I'm sure you all know, Amex is one of the leaders in this industry, and they have been for years. So it's always good to have an educational session led by an industry leader that is giving insights and kind of forecasting where the industry is going, trends that they see, and how to prepare for them. So super excited to attend that session and see what Amex has to share. And the next session that I want to highlight is called the Recharge, Refocus, and Reset Coaching session. And this is a wellness session hosted by actually one of our previous guests on the podcast, Naomi Tucker. So Naomi's going to be hosting a series of wellness sessions throughout IMEX. So I highly recommend attending these sessions, as it's a great way to just kind of disconnect and reset your focus, because IMEX can be a lot. There's a lot of commotion going on. There's a lot of people walking around, a lot of networking conversations happening. These wellness programs are going to be a great way for you to disconnect, reset, refocus, and hone in on that energy that you need to make it through the rest of the conference. So shout out to Naomi Tucker. I can't wait to attend some of these sessions and get the benefits of the wellness that you're providing.
Yeah, I'll definitely check out one of Naomi's sessions. She exudes calmness, so we need a little wellness while we're on site, and take advantage of that. So now, Kris, we're off to Wednesday. We're not really talking about the evenings, because I say play it by ear once you get on site. There's so many cool things to do, and whether you do an organized activity through IMEX or you just meeting up with some folks you met on the floor, you will find something to do in the evenings. But don't stay up till 2 a.m. I know you're in Vegas, but don't do it. It's going to be tempting, but don't do it. So you're going to want to hit that floor again on Wednesday. One thing I want to do on Wednesday right away at 9:30 in the morning, so I'm not staying up till 2, is there's a session called The Human Touch, Elevating Meeting Design in an AI-Powered World. I had to hit something that said AI. When we were going through the agenda, Kris, there was tons of stuff related to AI, so find the thing that's most relevant to you. But I look forward to checking this one out, hearing what's going on in the industry, hearing what's being layered in from an AI perspective, especially with WIFT being a tool that is doing that as well. Just like to keep our ear to the ground on what other folks are doing and how people are innovating in this space, because it is the new frontier. And then in the afternoon, I saw something on the agenda that I just couldn't ignore. It's called Playtime with an exclamation point. And I have no idea what it is, but it's at 3:05 p.m. on Wednesday. I'm going to stop by for some playtime.
That sounds like fun. I might have to join you on that one. But yeah, similar to JR, we have a bright and early day on Wednesday. So I'll be attending the same session, The Human Touch, Elevating Meeting Design in AI-Powered World. So we'll be at that session together, but the rest of my day is full of Naomi wellness sessions. So at 10:30, I'm going to attend a Burnout Proof Boundaries, a 3-step reset. So that's going to help me get reset. We're 2 days in, starting early on Wednesday. I'm going to need a reset. Then I have another one with Naomi at 12:30, another recharge, refocus, and reset. I'm thinking these steps are going to catch up to me, JR, by the time we get to Wednesday. So I'm really prioritizing wellness to keep my mind and my body and my soul focused on networking and having meaningful conversations with all of the attendees.
That's a great idea, because the next pro tip is Thursday on the floor will be the quietest. So if you weren't able to talk to somebody at a booth, or somebody was too busy, or a booth was too busy, if you show up on Thursday, you will get that time. So save your energy for Thursday. You can really take advantage of that time on the floor. Thursday morning, I'm going to stop back by Dolly Agency booth because they have a thing going on called App Showdown. And what it says, it's 3 productivity apps battle for supremacy. We can watch the live demos and then vote on our champion in real time. So I want to see the demos. I want to vote and have a voice. It sounds pretty cool. And then in the afternoon, there was one session that I saw. It was actually on multiple days, so maybe you can find when it fits your agenda. But it's event design using the event canvas methodology. I'm not familiar with this methodology, so again, just being curious about what's going on in the industry and how people are being creative. I'm going to check in on that in the afternoon. It's at 11:30. Yeah, looking forward to that one.
Yeah, most definitely. And my Thursday's pretty light right now. So as JR mentioned, if you're not familiar, sometimes there are sessions that run on multiple days. So if you want to attend a session maybe that you see on Monday or Tuesday, there are times where that session may run again on a Wednesday or a Thursday, so you can see that session at a later time. So on Thursday, I will be attending the session led by Amy Kramer, Unlock the Full Potential of Your Events Through Measurement. So super excited to gain the insights from Amy within that session. And as of right now, I'm keeping my Thursday light. Thursday sometimes is the travel day for people. It's also kind of a wind down day. So I'm going to play it by ear and leave my schedule open for now. But I'm super excited to be able to meet people during this time as well, because as JR mentioned, the floor is going to be quiet. You're going to be able to walk up to booths or exhibitors and have meaningful conversations. So this is also a time that I like to reserve to maybe meet connections that I've made throughout the event, follow up, have meaningful conversations, exchange information, and just see where those conversations lead. So for Thursdays, the pro tip from my side is I like to keep it light so that you can be flexible and you can move around to meet the individuals that you want to prioritize on that day.
Absolutely. Yeah, don't mail it in on Thursday. One other tip we have for you is just make sure you take the time after each session or each meeting to write down the notes you have and schedule next steps. And this is a great thing for Thursday as well, just to close the loop on a lot of these conversations. Because if you're not scheduling follow-ups at IMEX, you are likely to get ghosted afterwards. A lot of these folks' inboxes are about to be slammed. They're going to have a hard time responding to all the communications and emails. Get on their schedule before you leave Vegas, or it won't happen. I'll just tell you from experience, it won't happen.
Yes, I cannot reiterate that enough. And to add to that, another thing that JR and I learned last year is you need to have the mobile app downloaded and ready to go. And not only do you have to have that, you need to set up your profile. So make sure you get a good profile picture uploaded. Make sure your title and your company information that you want broadcasted to the public is correct and visible, because that's the number one way that you are going to network and find time to meet with anyone that you meet on the floor. Everyone's using the app. I believe there's in-messaging capabilities within the app as well, so you can schedule time to meet with one another that way. But make sure that your profiles are set up, you've downloaded the app, and you're on the Wi-Fi ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I mentioned earlier, keep your evenings open, but find something to do. Pick one anchor every evening. Here, depth is better than volume. You don't want to be bouncing around the strip all night. Find an event that's good for you. There's a couple foodie tours that look pretty awesome. There's some evening events that are sponsored as well, or you might just want to go to dinner with a fellow planner or industry professional. Go deep on that connection, and don't try to bounce around all night, or you won't get meaningful stuff out of it. And then again, get to bed early, man. It's a long week.
Prioritize sleep and do not overbook yourself. Like, it is very easy to be overwhelmed with the amount of education and networking opportunities that IMEX presents, but don't be afraid to go at your own best pace, because the last thing you want to do is burn yourself out and not be able to retain any of the information. So Take your time, prioritize what's important to you, and I promise you, you will get the value that you're looking for from IMEX. It's a great conference. It's a lot of great people, a lot of smart minds that are coming together, and the opportunities are endless when it comes to networking, learning, or supporting partners.
Yeah. So, Kris, lots of prep you can do too. We just walked you through the agenda because it's all online already. But do you have any tips for folks before they go?
I'm going to double down on the tip that we gave earlier of bring multiple pairs of sneakers. I cannot emphasize this enough. I was that young, naive guy a few years back that thought I could walk in dress shoes all day, every day for 6 to 8 hours a day. And I kid you not, bring a pair of Nikes, bring a pair of Asics, whatever your most comfortable walking, running shoes are. You will thank me later because the amount of steps that you're going to put in on this floor, you are not prepared for. And I work out. I work out pretty frequently, and I still felt the ramification of the amount of steps that you take on a daily basis. So number one tip from me is make sure you bring a couple pairs of good running/walking shoes for maximum comfort.
Protect that Achilles. Yeah.
For sure.
Another thing you should do, like Kris said, you should have your 3 goals, but lock in some meetings before you get there. Reach out to some contacts that you know are going. Put a note out on LinkedIn saying, I'm going, who else is going? Try to lock in some meetings so when you get on the ground, you have some things scheduled. That's huge as well. So you're not just floundering to try to find something to do or say to somebody. Prepare ahead of time. We talked about water. Get yourself a refillable water bottle. Bring a charger with you on the floor. You're going to be on your phone a lot, showing your LinkedIn barcode. Maybe even a blister care kit or 2. If you got a 1-pager or a pitch deck, bring that with you too. And then practice your intro. Practice your elevator pitch. You're not going to get a lot of time with people here, so you really got to try to hook them quick and get them to understand who you are and insert your personality. Don't be fake. Be real. Don't hold people hostage either. Like if you can sense they want out of the conversation, just let them. There's lots of other opportunities there. So just remember, this is a human experience. It's not all about sales and connections for personal gain. There's a lot that you can gain from the relationships you build here too. So just approach it as a human being.
Most definitely. That's a great tip, JR. You reminded me, another tip for the people, plan your arrival and departure carefully because there is tons of traffic coming into the venue and also leaving the venue.
Oh yeah.
So if you're coming in when everyone else is coming in right before the first session of the day starts and you want to leave right after the last session of the day ends, you're going to be waiting in a long Uber line or a long taxi line just to get away from Mandalay Bay. So depending on how you prioritize your schedule and your sessions, always keep in mind that if you're leaving at a peak time, that may delay you getting in an Uber or finding transportation back to your hotel. We learned that the hard way last year where we had to wait about 30 minutes to an hour just to get an Uber to go home. And that's after 15,000 steps where our feet are killing us. We've been walking and talking all day. So keep that in mind whenever you are planning to head to the venue or leave the venue. It can save you a lot of headache.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I think we booked a week out last year, so we were not close at all. I won't even say where we stayed, but it wasn't great. And shout out to those of you who planned ahead and are staying at Mandalay. Man, that's smart. We'll be at MGM this year, so not too far. I think worst case we could walk, but considering it could be 100 degrees, we'll probably be Ubering as well.
Yeah. Awesome. And feel free to say hello to us. If you see us walking or you see us sitting down having a conversation, please come say hello. We appreciate all of you that do listen and find value from the podcast, and we'd love to interact and meet with all of you. So this is our invitation to just show yourselves and say hello. We'd love to meet and talk about whatever we can to help the industry move forward.
Yeah, get this. We're also bringing the podcast mobile that week. So we're going to be on the floor with microphones, and if you want to be on the pod or give a quick shout out or whatever, let's meet up. So drop a comment on this video or shoot us a direct message, and we'll set up time to connect on the floor and hang out and have a cocktail or something.
Yeah, most definitely. Can't wait to see you all there. And until then.
Well, the neon's fading low. Mandalay says goodnight. Got a pocket full of business cards and a plane to catch at first light. Smart Monday turned to Thursday. Wore the tread off my shoes. Made 100 little promises. Booked the ones I'll actually do. I'm leaving Las Vegas, honey, head high, feet sore. 30 talk, 5 to write it down, 5 more to cross the floor. If you want me, you can find me in that follow-up lane. 'Cause I don't gamble with the next step, I calendar the game. So the pavilions and the bright ideas shook hands in every eye. Kept my water bottle with me, saved my voice and saved my smile. Picked one dinner, went deeper, let the other party slide.